so we have our coolant surge tank here, and we're going to be doing a belt on this. And it takes 2 minutes to pull this off, so I just want to get a little more room down here so we can see the compressor. So we're going to pull this hose off on the radiator here. Take these 2 10s off. There's a tab down here you can just grab and pull the surge tank up on. Just gives us a little more room in here to see the compressor. So I kind of, it's going to help with the video down. So the AC compressor is down here. It's right here. And my mother-in-law was driving the other day, and the pulley just went wobble, wobble, wobble when she had the defroster on. So in the wintertime in New England, well, no matter where you are, every time you use your defroster, you wouldn't think that the compressor would be engaged in your AC compressor, but it does engage. So even though it's the wintertime, you just can't not fix the compressor because it's helping with your defrost. So you won't have good defrost if you don't have the compressor cycling. So we're gonna fix it. So we're gonna do a belt. So we're gonna put it up in the air, we're gonna take the tire off and the cover off, and it looks like most of the repair is gonna be from the bottom here. We have one bolt right down here where my finger is that holds the compressor on the top, and then there's 2 on the bottom that we'll be able to get to. So we're gonna get the serpentine belt off, and you guys aren't sure about how it goes, draw a picture of it, take a picture. A lot of times they don't have them on the hoods anymore.
They used to.
Yeah, they so stickers cost money now, so they don't.
So get a couple of soup bowls and a shoelace, lay it out on the floor.
You're gonna pay attention to how the belt runs, and then,
Always thinking, Steve.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, so Tony's gonna take a couple pictures of the belt routing, and we're gonna put this up in the air. Okay, so we got our AC line manifolds here. We got our low side and our high side right here, and this one here is, so we're gonna disconnect the manifold here. Here's the low side here, and then the high side's on this side. So we're gonna crack these loose, take these off.
So if you do have Freon in the system, you have to go to somebody, Steve, right?
Yeah, you gotta recover it, do the right thing.
Before you make the repair.
Yep, the new compressor comes with oil in it, and then you're gonna have to vacuum and charge it. And they sell a lot of stuff, at the stores where you can charge it. Okay, I'm gonna get a magnet. We'll get these 2 nuts off here. 2. And here we just remove this line here. I'm gonna pull them up top. And you've got a seal here with an O-ring. And in the new kit, hopefully they gave us this stuff. If not, we'll have to dielectric grease it. But I believe it comes with the new compressor. They usually give you that stuff. And then this one here is the high side line that we're gonna pull off. It's got some wiggle room to it. Okay, so there's something bolted down on that high side line. I can see it, there's a bracket. So we're gonna go underneath. We're gonna put the car up and we'll get that bracket off that's holding the line on. So we got a 7mm here. We're gonna take some of these off, and we gotta take the button plugs off here, and we're gonna try and fold this cover up on top of the rotor. I'm taking, the whole world apart here. So set these up here. We got one more up there. And I'll take it off. All right, so we're gonna try and fold this over here like such. And this cover here we have to take off. And there's a 10mm, a couple of 10s to take this one off. I don't know if we have to take this one off. I kind of like to not take it off, but we've got 2 10mm there. Let's see how much room we have when we take this tensioner right here. We have to pull this back. It looks like it's got a hex on it. We could put a wrench or something on right here where my finger is. And then that should rotate the tensioner so we can release the belt. Let's get something on that right now. Let's see what we got. Okay, so we got a 15mm socket here. We're gonna put on this one. And I don't want the thing to spring back and lock my ratchet, so.
Yeah.
So we're going down now. If I can slip it off of the water pump, it makes it easy. And then I let this go. Okay, and we know you guys all paid attention to the way the belt ran, right? So let's just slip the belt off here. Down it comes.
Okay.
All right, so we get the belt off, and when we get the new belt, we're gonna match it. And so when you're looking at your belt, you're looking for, cracks in the belt. This belt's done pretty good, but it's original to the car, and the fact that the compressor started locking up on it, they could smell rubber burning. So I know the belt got some damage, so I'm not gonna take a chance with it.
Yeah, we're already in here, right, Steve?
Yeah, and this is the original Ford belt. It says Fomaco there, so we know what we got. So we're here. It's a good maintenance thing. The belt was bought it on Rock Auto. It was like $25 for a Kate's belt. It was a pretty good deal. So. All right, so we got a 7mm here. This is the line, the high side line that goes on the compressor that we couldn't move because it's being held by this bracket. So now this has a stud up here, so we might have a couple of options to take this off. This 7mm might not be my best option. So let's see here. Let's see if we can get this, because we got the 2 bolts here. And Let's see what size is. If I could take this off and then push the line up, it's a lot easier than trying to get this 7mm in here. So let's crack this line loose. That looks like that's 10. Look up at the mirror. So we got a quarter drive socket, 10mm on here. It's got a nut on top of the bracket to get that off so we can move the hose. So once we get this off, you'll see what we're talking about here. So couldn't really get the wrench in there. I cracked it loose, but you weren't getting any swings. So this kind of works out. We'll get it off with this. Okay, let's see here. So we can see the line is a little loose now. And we've got this little nut that we're taking off here. Now we can take the line off of the compressor here. Just bend this out a little bit. There it is. Alright, so now we get the line off. And we're gonna get this and I'm gonna get it out of our face over here. And then I've got another bracket right here. So there's two brackets sitting on this thing. And this one is for some type of lines, tranny lines. Yeah, these are for transmission lines. Well, that was a good idea to mount that on there, huh? My boys at Ford. So
I'm gonna flex them to push them out.
the thing is clamped on here. And so
Just about there.
yeah.
There you go.
Alright, I can roll this
Barely enough room.
down. So this electrical connector, I'm gonna take this little tab off here so I can swing this bracket down out of the way a little more. And it's gonna give me some room to try this. So okay, I can swing this down a little bit more out of my way. Now see the bolts on the compressor. This one looks like it's a 13 now. This one's a 10. We're gonna crack that loose. Okay, we can take this one out and thread it. Now this may not pull all the way out. It may hit the shroud, so you may have to leave it in and then you put it on with the compressor. That one's coming out. Let's try it. Is it 13? Yeah, they're both 13s. All right, so this one is probably gonna be the last one I take out. So I'm gonna loosen it, not pull it all the way out. And then I have to get it, the one that's up on the top here. I feel it. My finger up here. I'm trying to get a wrench up there now though for it because I think it's underneath the hole. That's right here. So it's gonna be a fun one. And this bolt's gonna hit the hose, so this one ain't gonna come up. So this one's gonna stay with the compressor. So alright, so we got this bottom one here, and there is our, let's go look at our electrical connector on the compressor on the new one. We got the new one over here. This one shows it up on the top, and so the bolt's here and the hose is running right in front of it. So we got to get this one off, and our electrical connector is up here. So we're probably going to take this bottom one out, lower the car down, because we've got these lines off, and then we'll get this one off and see if we can get the compressor off that way. So we're taking the bottom one out here. Take that one off. Okay. And obviously this thing is going to have to drop down this way. It's going to be tight. So let's go back up top and we'll get the electrical connector disconnected in the top bolt, and then we'll get this thing to come down this way. Look down here and see if this is, that's the electrical connector. Let's see. Okay. All right, I just squeeze this tab right here.
Yep.
And then unplug the electrical connector for the compressor.
Okay.
So now that last bolt, I think if you look down this way,
Yeah.
you can see it.
Try to get the camera in there.
You see the 13? My finger waving?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's right there.
Okay. Yep.
So now we gotta find a way to get that out.
There.
And I can get a wrench on this side,
Yep.
and let's crack it loose.
And so that sucker is, let's see, yeah, there you go. You see it now. It's a great spot to get at it.
Fortunately, they're not stupid tight.
Yeah.
We're old school with it.
All right, we're gonna get this out. It's gonna be a slow go,
Yeah.
and we'll get back here in a minute.
Trying to get this swivel on in here.
See if we can cheat it.
Okay, it's coming. It's working.
Yeah, we cracked it with a wrench, and then we've got a long extension 1/4-inch drive and a 13 mil.
Yeah.
So let's make it go a little quicker for you. Yeah, I kind of made it a lot faster.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's out. Yeah.
Okay.
And the compressor's trying to fall.
Yep.
But what I think's going to happen is it's hitting the line right here.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go back downstairs and try and manipulate this thing out to the thing here. All right, we're going to try and shoehorn this thing out of here. So we're on the block, hitting the four radiator hose here. Good.
You're almost there.
It's coming out.
It's coming out.
It's tight. Now, so let's pay attention where we are here. This is how this sucker's got to roll back in here. So we're not going to kill ourselves trying to get it back in. So this is the way it's coming out. We got to remember the way it's got to go in. So the compressor is going to mount like this back in the vehicle, and we're going to leave these caps on. Now they put 3 ounces of oil in there. This takes PAG 46 oil, and so they put 3 ounces in the compressor. Most compressors take 5 ounces, so it's short on oil. So once we get it off, we're going to take a line off up top and add our oil through the line on the low side. And you know, they have this sticker on here that says, you know, add the oil here on this side. That'll be the low side. So I don't want this thing to spill all over me when we get up. So we're gonna leave these caps on, and hopefully these ain't gonna inhibit us from putting this back up in place, and then we'll be good. All right, so they gave us new O-rings that we're gonna put on our lines, seals and O-rings, and there's 2 O-rings in here, plus the seals. The other one's right there. Okay, so 4 pieces here, and they give us these little locks, and these are key because these are gonna go into these holes here. But we gotta tap these in ourselves. This is gonna allow it to, when we slip it up in place, it's gonna fall into place. And then remember, this one bolt wouldn't come out because it's hitting the hose there. So we can't take this bolt out because we won't put it back in. So we're gonna transfer this bolt over to this one after we press the sleeve in. And you're just gonna tap the sleeve in with a small hammer, and it's the 2 bottom ones here. So we'll get it started, and then we'll tap these in with a hammer. And they bottom out, so can't really go too far, but you gotta put these in. This is what's really gonna help center the compressor. You can hear the difference? Right, so we're going to take our bolt, transfer our bolt over to this back one here, and we didn't have any problems taking them out. We can put a little grease on them if we want. It's not a big deal. They came out super easy, so I'm not too worried about them. And the other 2 will go back in on the bottom. So remember, the way that we took this thing out is we're going to try and stuff it back up into the hole like this and roll it into place. So let's go get that done. So to go over it, there's 3 ounces in here, and we can crack these loose right now so that they'll just come off with our fingers after we get them up there. So, and then what went wrong with the compressor is inside my clutch in here. This thing is like locking up, and you can turn this one, okay? So when this is turning, it's pumping the Freon, moving it all throughout the system with the oil. So when she was driving the other day, she had the defroster on, and this thing just locked up. And if you look at it, it's when I turn it, see how this is turning, it's moving right here? Look at the play right here. See how it's all wobbled out? Well, it made this hell of a noise, and then the Freon leaked out of it, and she didn't have any defrost anymore. So she disconnected, shut the defroster off, and the pulley was still spinning free. But you can't guarantee that it's not going to come apart on the road.
Steve,
so,
that happened to my Expedition. Remember that, like about a year or 2 ago?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Same thing happened on my Ford Expedition.
Yeah, so, when this thing makes the screeching noise, and then you turn your defroster off and it goes away, you turn it back on, and you can see this thing wobbling. That doesn't mean that you can run the car with just not using the defroster, because at some point this thing is going to come apart, and there's only one belt on it. The serpentine belt's going to melt off of it, and you'll be stuck on the side of the road. So I'm going to crack these 2 loose with the 13, and then we'll take these off after we get it up in place. Just want them finger tight. I'm keep them on there so I don't leak any oil out, and we're going to go stuff this thing up in place. So this is suction and discharge. So this is basically the intake side here.
There's an S and a D on it.
Yeah, and this is the side you always put your oil on, side, and the suction is always the big line. So how do you remember that?
Suction's always a big line.
Exactly. Suck the big one, okay?
Forgot about that.
You're never going to forget that, all right? So, but your oil's got to go inside, and when we're charging, we're going to charge on the low side as well, because you don't want to charge on the high side. So when it's coming in here, it's in the gaseous state. The compressor compresses the gas, and then it turns it back into liquid, and it's going to pump it out on the discharge side here. So that's what we got going on. All right, so we're going to feed this back up in place. We took a double check on this. Our plug connections are the same. They're in basically the same spot. We've got everything is mounted the same. We put our 2 pins back in, our alignment dowels back in, so those are in. So we've got everything up in place. We're going to go try and load this back up in there now. All right,
Here we go.
there goes nothing. It's tight. Those caps that we have on are making a difference in getting this thing up into play. So I want to take them off really, but the tranny lines, that power steering line and this tranny line, yeah, it's hitting that line.
Yeah.
You see what I'm hitting here? All right, I think we're close.
Yeah, you're getting there. So we're rotating it past those 2 transmission lines right there.
It's close out here. We're gonna get it pulled back down. So the bolt that I have to leave in is just kind of sticking me in the eye a little bit. So one of my holes is over. It is these 2. Yeah, so I can maybe lower this thing down a little bit. Have it in one. Yeah, that bolt. Okay.
There you go.
There it is. Okay. All right, we got it in. I'm gonna try to push that top bolt in, and I'm just spinning it with my finger a little bit.
Try to catch it.
Just to try and, I think I get it to catch. All right, but it's sitting in those dowels now. That's huge. Let me get the two bolts for the bottom. Okay, so we got this one here. Okay, I can get that one effect. Okay, get that one there. So this one, not too much room here. Okay, there it is. All right, I'm gonna tighten these two up now on the bottom, and then we'll tighten the top one up. Got a small 13 gear wrench. I've got real easy now. That gets out again.
Wait, let's get this one tightened up. We'll move on to the next one.
Yeah, we'll get this one tightened up. We'll move on to the other 13, and then we'll come back to it. All right, so we're just snugging these up, and I'm gonna put the long wrench on them. Okay. Get these tight with the long wrench. 13 wrench in here. You don't have to kill it, but just make sure it's tight. Okay, is that one? Okay, that was tight. I can try and roll this clamp back up over here, and
there you go.
Get that one on.
Nice.
Okay, so let's get that little 10 millimeter back on that one. Okay, we got this little 10 on, and we used quarter drive. I think I can use a little 10 stubby wrench in there. So we can get the 10 wrench in there now because we had that wire on there before, and I could have taken that off first, and I didn't realize that. That's the wire for the compressor. This plug right here. It's got the hole in here. I need to light it. So we got to line this plug up. Okay, so we push that back in there. All right, so we got the bottom two done, and we're gonna go upstairs and we're gonna get the AC clutch plugged in, the electrical connector plugged in, and then tighten the top one, and then we'll get the lines connected and get our oil inside this thing. Clean this off. We're gonna put a little dielectric grease on this. I like to put on them. Okay, so we got that one matches up there, and we got one's a bigger hole, one's a smaller hole. So we got this one here. I'm gonna get some dielectric grease. You know, we just put that 10 millimeter on. We said how easy it was. Well, you know why it was easy? Because we're supposed to put this line on and then the bracket on. That's why. So that tends to coming back off, people.
So what are we doing?
Now that we got the compressor up in place,
Yeah.
we can take off these caps that they gave us.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And they have the nuts on them. And I don't know how to crack these lines loose, but these nuts loose, but they ain't very loose. Oh, my head, man. Sun's holding it on. I'm gonna get a screwdriver and get a little plastic cap for the line. If for some reason
Being a pain.
doesn't want to come on. There it goes.
All right.
Okay. So I'm gonna change these O-rings over now. I'll put a little dielectric grease on our thing here. You can use AC oil. I always use a little partial to it for some reason. So, and I put it on my O-rings as well. Now let's go roll this on. So this goes onto this line like here, and the O-ring goes on, rolls on over the fitting like that. It's got a groove in there, and I got a nice little thin coat. So now this is the one that has the clip on it, and that 10 millimeter was on the other side of this. So now we have to bolt this line onto the bottom, and then we'll get our 10 millimeter on. That's why it went on so easy. But what I think that I can do is, no, the AC line's not really in the way. I mean, the electrical connector's not really in the way. So let's get this fed up here. This one go up onto the top. I'm gonna lower it down and try and pull it on from the top. Can't really see my leverage here with it. The O-ring is turning, and yeah, it's a shitty spot. Normally the dielectric grease kind of stops this thing from sliding around a little bit, and this one has to come up onto the top one. This is all by feel right now. Can't tell if that O-ring is moved. I mean, okay, yeah, this is moving on a little bit. My hand is just fucking hit it. I think I'm coming, I gotta go next start up here. On the side, so I think I'm gonna just catch the threads with one turn so I don't lose it. I have to get the bracket on down here where my finger is. It's got, jeez, it's got it just like that. Okay, let me see if I can get this nut on. I don't think I need the magnet. I just sat the nut down here. I'm gonna try and catch just maybe one thread with it. Okay, all right, we got one thread, and the bracket is on downstairs. So I'm gonna just kind of wiggle this thing down. It's gotta sit perfectly in place. I don't really want to force it down in there. Let me get the ratchet and see if it draws it in. The line is caught. I think it's got a twist. You gotta try and get this line to pull down. I have no leverage where I am right now. Unless I go back downstairs. Yeah, I gotta pull this thing. Boy, it should just fall into place, and it's not for some reason not drawing down. Nope, it ain't drawing down.
Okay.
So I had to wiggle the line a little bit to get it to seat and start drawing down. Now it's drawing down pretty easy. This went into place. So I'm gonna just snug it for now, and we're gonna go tighten that line up down there. And so this is the line, the low side line. Okay, so we're gonna roll this O-ring off here. Take this one off, and we make sure our fitting is clean. And we're gonna go get some dielectric grease for this that we had talked about. Got a little dielectric on here. Made sure our surface was clean, and we got dielectric on our fingers, so that's nice and clean now. Okay, so we can feed this line down. Trying to give it a wiggle. Okay, it just popped down at the place All right, so we catch our other O-ring there now. I mean, our other nut. It's this one. I'm gonna drop that. What's that magnet?
Here.
Get that one, snug that one up.
Hey Steve, that was slicker than dog shit on the sneaker.
Yeah, okay. All right, so let's get it tight.
Left to number 2.
Okay. All right, I think we can get our electrical connector. Put the light down here, Tone. Okay, there's our plug. And here's our connector right here. Let's see if we can make this happen. All right, the plug connector is basically it was on the bottom. Now it's actually, you know, it's probably still on the top. It was just the way we grabbed it. You almost there. Here we go. There's the click. I heard it. All right, so we get that on. Now we got to get down and put that 10 millimeter back on down there. And like I said, we're going to roll this up and we'll show you. We'll charge this with, fill this with 3 more ounces of PAG oil, and then we'll vacuum and charge.
Pretty light.
So we're tightening that top 13 as much as we can, and then we'll use the wrench. Tony almost forgot about it. I had only 3 bolts that bolted onto the bracket, so you need all 3.
2.5 would be good.
So we're going to put a wrench on this one now, that 13 on this one.
Oh yeah, that's really hard to get in there with that. There's a couple of cranks with the wrench.
That's tight. Now, just want to make sure that our electrical connector is not going to rub on anything, our wires. So we're pushing the connector away from the transmission, the power steering line here, so it's out of the way. Okay, and then our belt, we're going to make sure nothing rubs, so tuck that all in there. We'll make sure that our belt doesn't get anywhere near it. All right, so the compressor's on, the lines are tight, all the 3 bolts are tight. We got to go downstairs, put that 10 millimeter nut back on, and we'll get the belt down on it, and then we just have to vacuum the system down, vacuum it down and charge it, and we're gonna add our oil. So let's get the belt around. There it goes.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, you can't get the gear wrench in.
Yeah, you don't need that.
That's why we needed the quarter ratchet set up. All right, let's get this little 10 on here. A little sucker, huh?
Hey, you're pretty good at that.
Yeah. For some reason. It's almost like I've had it off 3 times.
Yeah. Come on, Steve, I'm getting tired.
I hear the ratchet working. I don't know if anything's happening. I think the stud's sticking up too much. You gotta find that 10.
Try the 952.
It sucks to get you in. It's a lot easier putting this on when that bracket wasn't on there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like butter. I'm wondering why.
We're like, I can use the gear wrench now. This is great.
Yeah, now you're screwed. How do you like them apples?
All right, I don't like those apples. All right, okay, so we actually got everything back on the way it should be. The lines are tight. The 3 bolts are tight. The brackets are back on and tight like it should be. The electrical connector's all plugged in. So we're going on to the belt. New one. And we need to stretch it, make sure it's the right size. Okay, we're good. And we got our 15 millimeter setup. All right, Tony, how's this belt go? You remember,
I
right?
have no idea. I was too busy drinking beer.
What did I bring you here for? What's going on?
For entertainment, lighting, that's how we roll.
Entertainment value.
The lighting guy gets about 60 an hour, you know.
Man, it's more than I'm getting. All right, let's get this.
Every garage mechanic knows the lighting guy's got the most stressful job in the place. He's the guy that gets yelled at. You remember how it went?
Okay, absolutely not. Okay, so then that went like, and then let's see here, down there, that went like this.
Steve's a belt whisperer.
Yeah, it's just like your father's belt. The last video.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ, we needed 4 arms each of us to put that thing on there.
The Kia Sportage 2018, worst belt ever.
Sucky deal that was.
Not for my father, was it?
Yeah, I know.
He just sat his ass down and watched us.
You done yet?
Sometimes it's good to be 81.
You're in.
This freaking newer cars are so compact.
Yeah.
Things a pain. Like my T-Bird where the engine's facing you.
Okay, so then this goes down. That can't hold tight. That has to down here.
Alright, so this is how we're up.
Goes like that. Is that okay? All right, but that has to go up over that one. That sucker. This one. Yeah, I think that goes like that. All right, so then it has to go around like that. It goes around there. It goes around up here. Straight across like this, I believe.
Boy, look at the picture.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so where's the ratchet? So somehow we got this on, I think, the right way. And the last thing we're gonna do is roll it onto this idler here.
Yeah.
The water pump. I don't think it's rubbing on the top though. Yeah. All right, look at the picture, Tony. Does it look like that?
Alright, this is to get your watermelon head out of the way.
Yeah, this is.
I'll show you guys what it looks like.
Yeah.
So, now that Steve's head's out of the way, this is how the routing goes on it. And it goes up and over this way. The tension is right there that we just pulled down, loop the rest of it on.
Okay.
Alright, not too bad, right?
No. So, all right. So we'll put the cover on now because I want to run it. So we'll throw it down, drop it down, and then we'll just start it briefly just to make sure the belt's good, and then we'll have to do our fill it with oil and vacuum it and charge it. Then we'll put this.
Alright, so we'll give it a quick crank, make sure everything's on right.
Ready?
Yep, very good. Alright.
All right. So one of these bolts is kind of pressed into the cover here, so I got a 10 millimeter socket, and I'm just gonna get it started. And it goes up, we've got 2 bolt holes. Go up, one here and one here.
Yep.
One over here. So we'll get this cover up in place, because we did start it to make sure our belt was good, so we know that that is all good. Okay, I just want to start it by hand so I don't strip it. And we're gonna do the second one the same way. Then we can put the gun on it and snug them down. I can't see the light. There it is. Okay. All right, let me tighten up the gun. Okay, get our cover back on. And pull our thing back a little gingerly, as we can. It sound too gingerly, but we've got one through. We're gonna stop right here, and then we'll get the rest of our button plugs in. Just want to start this one, 7 millimeter. Hey Jim, how you doing? Just give me 1 minute. Last plug in there, 2 there, got 1 more here. Let's tighten the 7 millimeter up, and we'll throw the tire on. Just try and line it right back up so it looks like you were never even in there. All right, so that's it. We'll throw the tire back on it, and we'll vacuum and charge the AC, and we'll be done.